Hello RC fans, Racing 393. I've had a couple of requests to do a video on this. It's my contact tyre truer. I didn't think it'd be much of interest, to be honest, and I'm probably not the most knowledgeable person to sit here and tell you how to true your tyres, but I do okay with my LMP. I haven't actually, at the time of this recording of this video, I haven't actually raced the LMP. I think the club I go to had like a summer break. It was back last Tuesday from when I'm recording this, and I couldn't make that because of work, so I'm doing the next one. It's in a couple of weeks time. So I will, whether what I've done with my tyres and trued them, would it work? If you've watched the video about my LMP 12, you'll notice, or you would have heard, that maybe those tyres I've got are too worn. They're right on the limits, to be honest, and having since then a few comments on my video, I think they are too thin. I think a lot of people use, well, a lot of people will use more than one set of tyres during a meeting, and that stands to reason. But I think what I'll do is show you my contact tyre truer and how I go about it. Now, I'm not going to turn down what I've already done, but I've probably got some tyres, definitely got some tyres which I haven't used, which are going to need turning down, and I'll just go over that. I'll just go over that with you. I think the first thing to do is to get this out. It's quite a nice. You can buy this with or without the bag. It's quite nicely padded, so for protection for travelling, etc. I purchased one of these. It's like a file. Oh, it's like a file. It is a file. It's a file. And it's quite rigid for the tyres. So I'll show you how we use that. Right, you've got the power leads. They're just banana plugs. I think that's what they're called. So it's not very big. So you've got the protective cover here. You've got like an adjustment slider like you'd see on a lathe, and you've got the thing at the end here, the turn. So it's not a turntable, but it's like what's that called? But it moves that to sort of skim across the tyres. Got a switch there for rotation, depends on which way you want to go. I've got an idea. I don't do it, but I'll try and explain what I think. And there's your power leads, 12 volt supply. So to use this, I think what I might have to do is go on another camera to show you what I use to power it here. It's just out of shot, so let me just change the cameras a minute. So that's what I use for my charger, and well, the light, as you can see, there's a light sort of here in the shed, and it's what powers that as well. So a 12 volt 60 amp 750 watt power supply. I think it was about £120, something like probably like $180 or something like that US. But what I found, most of the radio controlled fraternity, if you like, for a power supply. This is from what I can gather, this is what they need to use. You can see here we've got banana leads. This is for the light, which is almost sort of top there, so I use that in the shed. Even though I've got another ring light there, but that's not on at the moment. But this is what I use, and it's simply a case of just plugging these into the power and into the tyre drawer, if you like. So let me swap back to the other camera for now. So I'm going to just quickly plug this in. I mean, red to red, black to black. You know, it isn't going to tax your brain, but however tempting it might seem, don't mix them up. It ain't gonna work. It's got a fuse in it, so if you did, I suppose, overload or did say it wrong, it should pop the fuse, which is in the side here. But you can see you've got a power light on now. I need to move the camera again, but just to show you, it is quite quiet compared to the one I was using. So I'll turn it on. There we go. I think. Let me just take this off. So I've got to show you what's it called? Armature? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. I'll show that in a minute. But anyway, I'll turn it on again. So it is quite quiet. You can still hear me. So that's the main thing. Also goes the other way. Now, my initial understanding of the rotation is, I think, because you can cut the tyres down using this truer, you know, that's what it's for. But you can also skim the tyres by just taking the edge off. I suppose it's to do with the rotation of the wheel and what it will do on track. I don't use it the other way. I was told Mark Stiles did mention about the reversing the rotation for a reason, and I can't remember what it is. So I'm not going to make anything up because I don't know. So, but I don't do it because I don't know why, if I'm honest. But anyway, I'm going to have to move the camera again, well, use the other camera to show you a close-up of the tyre armature, the wheel that holds the wheel, so you can spin the wheels, turn the tyres down. And I'll show you the procedure, what I do, and just to turn it. It makes a bit of a mess. I won't turn it fully down because it takes quite a while. So I'll just show you the procedures. Let me just move the camera around again and move the camera, use a different one. So remembering not to zoom all the way in. So as you can see, it's a fuse. There's the rotation, clockwise or anti-clockwise. Here's the bed, if you like. Sort of turn that back and forth, moves it up and down sort of to true the tyres, and then you sort of can wind it in. It's got dials and measurements on here, which I'll show you how I use that in a minute. And that's the armature, if that's what it's called. It sort of screws onto here, and that sort of pins the wheel on. Now they do come in loads of different designs. I might need to change that for one that fits the 1/12 scale, so I'll put a 1/12 tyre, wheel and tyre on there, and then we'll go from there. I might, because the camera on this one, the battery on this camera is going flat, so for some reason doesn't last very long. But let me see if I can change this. It's only just undoing that Allen bolt there, and I've got some more that are in here, so I'll just change it to the one I usually use. So I've got these. I haven't used them. These are like purple. They're not for the BRCA, but you can use them at club level, I guess. It doesn't really matter with the compound. And as it happens, they fit straight on the armature anyway, so I don't need to change that. So the first thing I'll do is measure them. Now, according to the box, did I measure them? 44 millimeters. I think I did measure them. So I've got my calipers here. These are only really cheap calipers. Now, the trick here, the problem is, you don't really want to be putting much pressure on the actual rubber bit itself, because that there says 44, but I can go, I mean it's just sort of grabbing it. I can go more. That's tighter, 43.5, so that's half a mil. So one of the most important things is that you don't squeeze the calipers so it pinches the tyre itself. So that's as good as 44. I'm going to now I'm going to move this round to that side a minute so you can see, might be able to see a little bit more. So just to show you how it works, because my other camera is going to go pretty much flat. So the first thing I do is I'm going to put this onto there, so it goes on there quite nice. Now, I'm not going to say this is like the armature for these wheels and tyres, but it'll do for now. And then we're going to put this on, making sure that that's done up pretty tight, because you don't want that to distort the wheel but all come loose. So although nothing's on as in near it, if I turn this on, so it's quite true. Now we know that's 44, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to wind that over. I'm going to turn this in so it just touches the tyre. Now I've got a reading on here from 20 to 80 millimeters, so 44 in twos. So it's just that there is about 44. I'm using the dial here, it's got a pointer. And what I'm also going to do, I think, yeah, like that. So that pointer, I don't normally check this, if I'm honest, but I'm just showing you that is pointing at 44. And this part here, it's got another dial and it's set at 0. So when I wind it in, which will be clockwise, it goes in that much. So I'll show you what I do now. So I'll do this in real time. You make sure that's down. We've got that there, so it's not touching the tyre at the moment. We're going to turn it on so it goes forward. I'm just checking, yeah, so it will turn from here away from the tool, so it's turning where I'm sat clockwise. So then if I just skim, it's very light, so you can tell that it's not actually taking anything off, so we know we've got it set right. I'm just going to go in to the next mark, which I think is 0.2. I think you're using 0.2s as well. So we'll wind that across, and it's still not touching that tyre. It's very, very close, I have to say. Let's go another one. It's just touching it now. And I perhaps want to go down to, maybe I'll take, I don't know, I might not go down to what I'd race it at, but you know, maybe I'll go down to take a mil off if I can. That's another 0.2. And it's just sort of starting to touch the tyre there. So I'll keep doing that until I've got some meat off the bone, as it were. So it's just got slight resistance. When you're going quite slow, I know you can probably go quicker. Making sure you go fully across the tyre and off. Now, when Mark was doing this, he had a completely different machine. It was pretty worth, I don't know, it was a Huddy one, it's worth a fortune. He just set it, you can do it digitally and just went straight across the tyre. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't do that with this, but I don't want to load this up too much. Right, we'll keep going. So you've now gone what looks like 1.6. Now, it wasn't quite zeroed. And it is only just taking the surface off. So we'll keep going. So I do that a few times until it sort of stops making loads it up. You still hear it loading up. It does make a bit of a mess, but it's easy to clean up. So that's turned down, and that's on a 0 now. So that looks like it's gone in. That should be 41. Can't see it being 41 though. Find out in a minute. So that's been taken off. What are we reading? Thing is, so you don't over tighten it. Put the calipers on too much. So it looks like a much cleaner edge, which you can see there. Now the proof in the pudding. Let's make sure these are zeroed out, which they are. So let's measure this now. So it's probably about 43.1. I need to go down a little bit more. So what I'll probably do is go, I perhaps want to run 42.5 to start with. That's probably what I will start with. So we make sure this is back on. Done up tight. Like that. Perfect. So we know that's 43. So if we wind it in Another one segment, and do the same again. You can smell the rubber. So that should be, if I measured that, it should be more 43. I'll go in again. 0.4. So that now should read something like 42.8, something like that. And here it's still taking some rubber off. So we're going again. One more sort of run across. There's quite a lot of rubber there that's come off, got residue. Like that. Take it off. I wouldn't normally do it this way, just because I'm just showing the camera. So that looks alright. Let's measure it. Let's see what we've got on there now. So 42.6. I mean, I'll probably run it there. I mean, that's what I would do. I'll leave it there for now. So it's gone from 42 to 43.6, 44 to 42.6. I've now got, just going to scrape some of this, or brush some of this residue away. And now what I do, can you see if I show you that profile there, these ends, that one and this one, there, so there, we chamfer them off using this tool. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm just rolling it across. I'll do it this way. Bit the top wheel as well, doesn't really matter. A little bit more. There we go. And then I get a bit of just normal wet and dry, but dry, and I literally just sand the top of the tyre very lightly. Done. And there you go. I think these tyres are going off. And then, I don't know, they're old, I've had ages, but I'll pre-use them. Well, I will use them. I might do these ready for the next meeting, just so I've got spares. I've got the set here. What are these? Are 38 sure, so they're probably not as soft as what's on the car. And all I then do is do the other tyre to the same diameter. So it's already set here. So I'll just move this dial back, make note of where it goes, so I know where to turn it to, and it should be the same. So there you go. In fact, if I get the other one out, which I haven't done. So that's the untouched tyre. That's the one I've done. It's definitely, it's loads smaller. I don't know if I can show you on the camera, it's going to be hard, but you can make out there, you see. So that one, that's the big one, so that should be 44. We'll check that one as well. I didn't have to check it, but yeah, so it's just gripping the tyre. That's 44, and without moving that, you can see it's just no way that's going to be on there, so we need to go in a little bit more. It's just gripping it. 42.8, and that's I'll try it with that. That's basically what I'm going to. These, I don't know whether these will be any good anyway, but we might as well use them because they've been sat in my box for like 2 years. So that's how I do my tyres, and then I bought this for cleaning buggies and things, but I just sort of brush it all down and then hoover it all up. Surprising how much mess it makes. And like I say, I don't overwork it. Maybe it can do more quicker. I'm not saying it can't, but I don't want to break things. You know, they cost a lot of money. So there's a lot of stuff here though. There's a lot of foam or rubber. So you can see that, give or take. That's what's come off. So yeah, that's my quick tutorial on how I prep my tyres. Of course, I don't know what do they charge? £1, in it, or is it Zen Racing? Is it £1 a tyre or something? So you can buy the tyres, specify your diameter, and they'll do it. If you've got your own one, I suppose you can experiment with your tyres. It's a bit like, so when you run the tyres and you've got them, they're going to wear, but you want to tidy them up. You don't keep, you know, what you're going to do is buy another set of tyres and get them trued. You could, but I suppose it could get expensive long term. At least this way, you can, like I do with my tyres on my LMP, you run it, you just true it. It's easier once you've trued them because you're only going to skim like a small surface off them, and you can do that to all the tyres, so they're all symmetrical. Just getting it down to the, because this is a manual tyre truer. You've got to make sure it's set to 0, or at least a figure that you can read, so you know how far to turn it down. So from new to getting them equal, that takes a little bit of time. But once they are like this and you use them, you put them on the lathe and just skim them out, and you can leave it all set there and put the other tyre on there, because they're not going to be that much different. I wouldn't want to put this tyre on and just wind that through, I don't know, to this. I think it might put too much load on the machine and want to break it. So that's yeah, quick show you how I do my tyres. I mean, this does 1/10 scan as well, but I've got a speed run car up there which I'm doing 1/10, and this is what was on there. So the 1/12 front will fit, and the same with the 1/10 size. I mean, even the rears fit on this. So this arbitrary here that I've got works for all the tyres that I need. I think there is an adapter which I should put on there, but I think it goes onto the front of the rear tyres. But I find I didn't need to use it, so maybe someone can tell me what I should be doing. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. But there we go. That's my Fast Tracks contact Tyre True. I think, is it made by Fast Track? No, it's made by Contact. Why am I making that up? Contact Tyre Truer. This came off MB models, so yeah, definitely worth the money, worth every penny. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
God bless, we're breaking these runs. Life too short to play it on speed run. Only get one, no option to rerun. With Babylon goes who high to reach them. Down to earth, stay grinding when storms come. Rat race, only one to run from. Better say cheese, but saying split in the funds. Living in the moment, I ain't worried about none. I'm straight chillin', back against the wall, too acquainted with the feeling. Like you lost the mark, find a way if I'm willing. Only fear God, not sweating his lost children. Price on my head, exported a few trillion. Doing side missions, whatever I'm feeling. I'm built different, cruise with no ceiling. Sun shining on me, boy, I'm indifferent. Go! Yeah.